in that or good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good morning, Leeward Islands. Good morning, Windward Islands. Good morning, OECS. Good morning to the Caribbean. Hey, wherever you are, we say good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to those persons in the diaspora, England and the UKs and the US and Canada, etc., etc. And hey, in some places it is afternoon, in some places it's evening, night. So good evening, good night, good afternoon to you, whatever is applicable. And it's a beautiful day here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's another edition of Island Tea with yours truly, Troy Biff Mills. And we say welcome to the show. It's Thursday, the 23rd of April. Wow, one more week left to go in April. Remember, April is a short month. It's a 30-day month. And time flies. In a 1 week's time, it means that a third of the year would have expired. 33.3333%, and you go on. And and after the end of the month, we have coming up just after that, not with Monday, Labor Day, which is the 4th of May, the first Monday in May, Labor Day. And some people celebrate Labor Day around the world on the 1st of the month. We celebrate it on the first Monday of the month. And just after that, we have Whit Monday. And Whit Monday, I think it's at the end of May. And then going into June, we have Music Festival. After Music Festival in June, then we have Culturama. And that's on the Emancipation Weekend. After Culturama, here comes Independence 2026. After Independence, voila! We are ready for Sugar Mass 2026. And the year would have flown by poof. And it therefore means that we welcome 2027 God's Spear. Of course, I'm being futuristic. And it's unfortunate a lot of persons, I'm hoping I'll be around, will not live to see that. It's just a norm, it's just a given. But that is the way life is. And we have a lot of interesting topics here this morning. And I'm going to start by saying happy birthday to, out of Nevis, Livingston Sargent. Some may argue he's the best batsman the Leeward Islands has ever produced. He is the dad of WinFM's own Trent Sargent. So happy belated birthday, Mr. Sargent. I hope you have had a wonderful time. And some people enjoy the birthday for a year, celebrate for a year until the day before next year, and then they celebrate the year again. So happy belated birthday. And those persons who are also celebrating today, we say happy birthday to you. Congratulations to you if you received a promotion, a new job, a bicycle, I don't know, a new hairdo, a new pedicure, manicure, whatever it is. Congratulations. A baby, you just got engaged, I don't know. And the not so positive element, persons who are mourning, we say condolences to you. We pray that you'll be strong, you find peace, comfort, and joy in the many, many, many fond memories you would have had and you would forever cherish. And those who would have celebrated in the past, happy belated. Those who celebrated in the future, happy birthday, happy anniversary in advance. Bob Marley has a very, very powerful song. We got so much things to say right now. I wish I could have sing. I really wish I could have sing. I love singing. But let us start, and forgive me, a lot of persons may know, may not know. The St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association. Yesterday was the final of the FA Cup, what we call the Knockout Cup. And we had two teams playing for Cup. Montreal Farms Clean Rights United Old Road Jets, and they are from the western part of the island, that is Old Road region. And we also had, and that's constituency number 4, and we had from the eastern part of the island, Connery, that's in constituency number 8. So to put that in a little perspective, we had the Minister of Sports, number 4, the Honorable Samuel Duggan, coming up against the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. the Honorable Terence Dew. And who you think won? Number 4. Multroville Farms Clean Rights United Old Road Jets. They were able to win the Knockout Cup. I started watching, and the score was 2-0 in favor of Old Road. And I said, well, boy, look like Connery gone in, because Connery hasn't been playing their best football this year. They're like number 7 down in the table. So I said it's a foregone conclusion. It's either going to be 2-0, maybe they're squeezing 1-1, or 3-4-5. And lo and behold, when I turned back on, I realized it's 2-2. Connery sneaking into. They went into kicks from the penalty mark, penalty kicks, penalty shootout. And Old Road came out 5-4. So they are the FA Cup champions. And to put that in a little perspective, that is the second time in 3 years they have won the championship. They have dethroned Rams Village Superstars, who won it last year, 2025. Before that, Old Road were the champions. They won it. So Rams Village Superstars dethroned Old Road. Old Road came back and said, hey, this is mine. So congratulations to both teams who were playing for the FA Cup, and especially to Multroville Farms Clean Rights United Old Road Jets. And they have a chance to play for another cup. That is the Premier League Cup. We have one round of matches coming up this weekend, and they're going to be playing the back-to-back defending champions, SL Horsford St. Paul's United. And, oh boy, that's a lot of politics. Well, when I say politics, football politics. Well, I'm not going to go there. It's time we talk about other things that are happening locally here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Creative industry scene advancement with construction of the Creative Arts Center. And this is a story on winnfm 98.9, posted on April 22nd. And it stems from and it's by Kevin Brown. It stems from the interview the Honorable Samuel Duggins had. That was on Tuesday up at NEMA. And in brief, it reads, the creative economy in St. Kitts and Nevis has shifted from conceptual planning to high-impact international partnerships and major infrastructure development, with work underway on the site of future Creative Arts Center and on the partnership with Nollywood in Nigeria. During the quarterly press conference on April 21st, Honorable Samuel Duggins, Minister of Creative Economy, proudly expressed that construction has begun and development of our Creative Arts Center well underway. I think that deserves a round of applause. Again, that's him. Again, vision, action, results that you can see. And for me, this is construction of more than just a building. You see, and I'm reading according to the article, and I'm quoting him, this for me is the foundation of an industry. It is a home where talent and culture become, a driver of our national development. The Creative Arts Center, we've started that from a vision. We put the action behind it, and today, through the construction, we are seeing the results. End quote. The Nollywood, you would recall this Hollywood, the big movie film. The Indians have is it a Bollywood? I think it is. And here is Nollywood, which is the African version. And this is Nollywood is one of the benefits of the benefits coming out of the trip to Africa, where 100 plus persons attended. So tangible benefits. Some may argue, is that enough? Some may say, yes, it is. No, it's not. But we'll have to wait and see. There is that. And a few days ago, I came across a story where an aeroplane that has been decommissioned, it will be, well, I don't want to use the word dumped. It will be placed in the sea to two things generally: to create a reef, to build a reef, and also to provide marine tourism. So persons who are going snorkeling and diving could go around, because once it's there, you're going to see a lot of fishes coming up and plants growing. But guess what? There has been pushback, and 2 pilots from St. Kitts and Nevis, they are advancing the argument that though that is good, though tourism is important, they believe it will be better served if this airplane was given to the education institution, where we could have aero mechanics. Right now, if you want to, from St. Kitts and Nevis, and you want to be an aero mechanic, study how to fix planes, repair planes, etc., etc., you have to go overseas. Whether it's Puerto Rico, I'm not certain if they do it in Barbados, but definitely the US. Plus, if an airplane comes to St. Kitts and Nevis and it has problems, issues, and it cannot leave, there may not be many persons here, if any, who are certified to repair that plane. So it would mean flying in technicians from Puerto Rico, Miami, wherever. So these 2 pilots, and I can't remember the name, I have to check it, they are saying, we could put an end to that. Let us train our people here. Let us build some capacity here in St. Kitts and Nevis to have our very own become qualified in aerodynamics so they could fix planes. And guess what? If we do that, they may be called to Antigua or some other Caribbean regions who may not have those aero technician. So I think that's an excellent idea, to donate it to the Ministry of Education. If it's going to be at CFBC, which I suspect, the technical section, if you're going to have it for a central area where all high schools could access it, it is a good thing, a very, very good thing. And I believe that is something the government needs to consider seriously. Develop our young men, and women, and it doesn't have to be men, it could be women as well. And I don't know how many of you would have thought about this, and it'll be nice for you to call in and share your view on that. Give me a call, 466-0989, 466-0989. Of course, if you're from St. Kitts and Nevis, you preface that with 1869, and you'll be able to get me. If you're having any challenges, if you're shy, like me, I might add, you can WhatsApp me on 668-2055, 668-2055, and I'll be able to get your message out and over. And for those, where are those numbers now? For those, yes, here we are. Overseas, in the UK, you'll call 033-344-0065. In the UK, you'll call 033-344-0065. In the US of A, 718-285-6984, 718-285-6984, and in Canada, 305-921-4619. And hey, give us a call. Let us know your view. Especially, I like to hear how people are thinking on the suggestion to not place the airplane in the seawater and actually donate it to the Ministry of Education. Right now, there's a badge down at Irish Town, and the persons have been arguing it's not quite sightly, and I suspect fishes are going there's a fish habitat there, let me put it that way. I am not certain. Persons feel that things like that should be dumped a little further out, so they could not prevent an eyesore, for want of a better expression. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have our first call on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to 98. Oh, we lost that caller. Biff you to slum, and you got to get... Okay. Here is a caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island T. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am blessed, highly favored, and giving thanks. What about you, ma'am?
I'm fine. Thanks be to God. Anyway, That's an excellent, excellent idea that the pilots have, and we pray. We know our government. We know they lack of vision, and we know they don't listen to the public. They get some brilliant ideas, but for some reason, if it don't come from them, they don't seem to take up anything the public suggests. And I hope they take up this idea. That is beyond excellent idea. But send our condolences to. I run into a post. I think it's Saturday night or Sunday morning, Friday morning, where I see Hunks from Connery, where I see he passed. And let me say condolences to the family.
And indeed,
And may God,
I share your
and may God
condolences.
give them strength as they mourn the loss of them family member. I'll call back if anything. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, Cleo. Thank you for calling. And this one caller supporting the idea of the pilots to give that airplane to the Ministry of Education. And that is reminding me in St. Martin, there is what the old plane is called, not an Islander, Twin Otter. From the way back when they was Leat had a Twin Otter, and Leat, we say thank you to them. They're one of the sponsors of Island Tea. They had a Twin Otter that used to carry people, St. Martin, St. Thomas, especially St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. I went to them. I went down there once as a 7, 8-year-old, and I could still remember that experience. I was elated. That was the first time I went on an airplane. I went to St. Thomas by my aunt, who's deceased now, may her soul rest in peace. And in St. Martin, they have one. When you're going down into Phillipsburg, they have one on the left-hand side, I think. Well, I don't know if it's there. I haven't been to St. Martin in a little while. And they're using it as a restaurant. I think that is an excellent idea. I had breakfast, I had lunch, I had dinner there way back when sometime. And I went for that experience to see how it is. And I enjoyed the food. That's another option. But if I had to choose between the two options, making it a restaurant, wherever you're going to place it, and I believe it will do well, or the pilot giving it into school, I think I'll go with the school. Build capacity here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And so thank you for that, caller. You know what we're going to do? Right now, let us go downtown and big up our sponsors, and we will be right back. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back with more Island Tea.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you can get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Your space is your brand. It speaks for you. So what is it saying? From the boardroom to the bedroom, our modern decorative light fixtures offer timeless designs with visual comfort. During April, TDC is making space for new arrivals. They have discounted selected Vision Decorate wall-mounted fixtures ranging from $60 to $115 to as low as $30 to $40. Elevate every corner, transform every moment, enjoy every second. Available at the TDC Home and Building Depots on St. Kitts and Nevis and at shoptdcgroup.com.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Life can throw surprises your way. Because life, it just happens. With Sagicor, I plan for life's unexpected turns and have a safety net for me and those I love. Call your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com to learn more. Because, well, life happens.
Here are your Horse's Value Match IGA Blue Tag Specials.
Running April 2nd to April 15th.
Post family size honey bunches of oats and pebble cereals $19.99. Quaker oats regular and quick $19.99. Essential everyday chunk and shredded cheeses just $7.99. Blue Bunny ice cream $25.99. IGA or essential everyday frozen waffles $19.99. Arm & Hammer liquid detergent just $39.99.
And now our value deals. IGA Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese $2.99. IGA Essential Everyday Canned Tuna $3.49. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs $9.99. Essential Everyday Barbecue Sauce $7.99. The Colgate Toothpaste $6.99. The Colgate Toothbrush Medium and Soft $4.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. It's good to have you listening, and of course, give us a call. Let us know your feedback. We so far introduced two topics, that on the Creative Arts Center and the pilot, the pilot's suggestion, rather than depositing the airplane at sea, give the Ministry of Education, and so they can actually use it to train technicians. And that's like doctors. When you're studying medicine, you have cadavers, which are bodies given to the medical institutions. So the trainee doctors could actually work on them. Could you imagine that you're going to operate on a kidney or whatever part of the body, but you have not had any practical experience on that? And because they have to get the bodies from wherever. So it's a similar thing with the plane and with a car. Even if it's a car, you're studying your mechanics, and the facilitator would allow you to work on live vehicles. So for example, I might have a problem with my vehicle, and rather than go to a regular mechanic, I might say, okay, let me go to CFBC, the Tech Voc section, and the facilitator there, the lecturer, you say, okay, Biff, what is the problem? And the class is listening. And then from there, he stems, okay, Peter, what are your thoughts on repairing? What would you do? And Paul, and they have the discussion. Okay, now, guys, let's now fix the car. And I am thinking they charge me $250, whatever. And I give them, and I believe it goes into the pool and things like that. So I like that airplane. Forgive me if I talk about it a lot. I just love it. Give it to education. And next week, the 30th, I don't know how many persons have been following the elections, impending elections in Antigua and Barbuda. And that's something else, these elections. And I guess politicians are politicians wherever you may roll. And because they have been pitching ideas, and then the government is saying, boy, no, that's not a regional idea. That is an idea, something we're working on. And I don't know. Employers must allow paid time off for voting on polling day, and this is Antigua and Barbuda. I don't believe this should be a topic in any country. Employers must allow paid time off for voting on polling day. And this should be a given in every country. And it's unfortunate if persons have to be reminded, employers have to be reminded to do that. We have a call. Let's go to the line and say good morning, caller. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Yes, Biff, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I think I was calling your number by mistake. Sorry about that.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, very sorry about that.
Welcome to Island here on WinFM 98.9.
Yes. Well, I would like to start out by saying, as usual, greetings in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners who saved them from their sins and from hell by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only, in Jesus' name only. Now, you say you had some topics?
Yes, I introduced two topics so far. One about, a few days ago, I saw an item that there's an airplane that has been decommissioned here in St. Kitts, and the government is going to deposit it in the sea. I can't remember where I heard, but it's in Bastia somewhere in the near close coastal area, with the intention of achieving at least two objectives. One, having it create a reef, and two, encouraging marine tourism, where people come in and they go diving, they go snorkeling, they look down, because once you have it there, over a period of time, it will develop into a fish habitat and plants as well. And persons like that. And there was that. And there was the Minister of Creative Economy, etc., the Honorable Samuel Duggins. He had a press conference on Tuesday, and he spoke about the Creative Arts Center, land being cleared, excavating it, so it's now turning from an idea into a reality, as just to quote him. So those were the two topics we introduced locally. We were speaking about the Antigua, reminding employers to give time off to workers to go and vote. So that's where we're at.
Okay. Oh, okay. You know, concerning the first thing with the plane and making an artificial reef thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, reef thing. That's a good. No. I have looked at some time ago at a YouTube video where this country was putting vehicles, used vehicles, that were out of order, and doing the same thing. And I wonder why we have not done that same thing as well. Using these abandoned vehicles and that sort of stuff. And, I wonder why we don't even use those as well to make reefs.
That's a
for
good
fishes
idea.
and so too.
I didn't think about that part. The idea about the plane came up, but I never did think about having vehicles. And with so many derelict vehicles around.
Right.
That's an excellent idea, Greg. Thank you.
Yes. That is for that. And you said the
creative economy, performing
creative
arts
economy.
Center. Yes.
Art center.
Correct.
No. With all due respect, from what I know that the Bible says concerning the duties of government, that is not one of them. Definitely not one of them. Also, we have to. It's like we are not facing reality. We just doing things that making us feel good, but we are not facing reality, especially where our financial situation is concerned. Basically, the government is broken. It's a hard reality, but basically the government is broke.
That is your view, your opinion. Do you have facts to support that?
And the reason why I said that is this. Simple things the government cannot maintain. Their buildings and that sort of stuff. Just up to last night, I was looking at WhatsApp. So I forget whose channel it was. But they were showing you pictures down the Cardigan home with the bathing area and I think other areas as well in very bad condition. We know that there are schools that need fixing that cannot fix. I mean, sorry, not to say they can't fix, but are in bad condition.
They're in need of repairs. But does that mean the government is broke, Greg? Could it not be that they have higher priorities
those are signs of a broke government.
But
those are signs.
Can't it be that they have higher priorities? Yes, that is a priority. And if you have 10 things to deal with, I don't know, in some cases you have to start at number one.
If you ain't broke, you're able to deal with all of them. But if you are broke, you cannot deal with all of them. I mean, imagine what you're saying, that government can deal with all of them, but it's only dealing with the high priority. That means the government is being careless. They're supposed to deal with all of them.
That could be one. That could be one option. Could it be that they may be concentrating on lesser priorities instead of these higher priorities? I'm not saying they are. I'm looking at possibilities.
But you're supposed to concentrate on all of them. But the main fact that you're not able to concentrate on all of them, I take it that you are not able to do it. So you have to prioritize. But you're picking up taxes, you're picking up people's taxes to take care of all of them. Do you know? For example, before going there, let me also say, just the other day, the officer who does come here, the Maguire, he and another officer was manhandling a man to put him in the police vehicle. They didn't have the shackles to do it.
I am not so certain I like the word manhandled.
Well, that is what. But when you look at the video, did you see the video?
No, I haven't. I haven't. So I guess that is why I am defensive.
That was it.
If they had to use a little more force than they normally do, could it be that the person they were going to arrest or whatever the case was fighting, what was not being calm and cool?
Yes, he was resisting. But my question is, where were the shackles?
I don't know. I can't say. But if somebody is resisting, won't you get that sort of energy coming from the police, Greg? If you're going along peacefully, then hey, one of them might just hold you on the forearm and you go along. Shackles are no shackle. But if you're going to go on with one thing and you're going to fight and you're going to resist, they're going to increase the force, the levels of force they use.
Yeah, but they should not be fighting they should not be pulling and fighting the man to put him in the vehicle. There should be, if you're going to do any fighting with the man, you should be fighting to put him in shackles to restrain him as quickly as possible. But here they're spending a kind of long time fighting off the man, manhandling the man to put him in the vehicle.
I'm not certain Greg, I'm not certain I like the word manhandled. I'm not certain. If you say forcibly, okay, maybe that could work.
Okay, forcibly then.
Mm-hmm.
Forcibly.
But manhandle means it suggests that, hey, they acted inappropriately. That's my interpretation.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They acted inappropriately.
No, I wouldn't say that, because if he's resisting arrest, they have to increase the levels of force they'll normally use.
You have to put him in shackles.
I am not saying you don't have to. But for whatever reasons... For whatever reason, they didn't use shackles, Greg. You're saying they didn't have. You're assuming they didn't have, Greg.
But then, if they did have shackles, then they were acting. The wrongness was even worse. Because that's why you're supposed to shackle a person before you, especially if you see the person resisting. Even if the person ain't resisting, you shackle them, let alone the person resisting.
I understand, but in some cases, I think you have seen the police just holding people without any force, and both police and the person walking along comfortably without any issues. And I'm sure if you pull, you tug, you get away and you could run, but they don't do that. And we know, Greg, there are some persons, as guilty as they may be for whatever, they're going to put up a fight, especially if people are around, because some of them love the scene.
And from the time the person's supposed to do that, you're supposed to put them in shackles. Not they're fighting back with them.
But isn't the first priority to apprehend? The second priority is to, let us use the word restrict, contain, in which case the shackles come in. But if you suppose you're not comfortable getting over stage one, you can't go to stage two before you're able to.
Yeah, but stage one is supposed to be putting the person in shackles.
You have to get the person, hold the person first before you could put on shackles, Greg.
Right, but that was not what they were doing. They were trying to forcibly put the person in the vehicle.
Okay, Greg, and I think you made your point with that. Could we move on, please?
Yes, and another issue is that, you remember the last time, you remember not too long ago, we spoke about, and I was holding to the point of privatizing hospitals, okay?
Yes, sir.
Which I still hold to. Me and Quinn were talking about that very same thing yesterday on his program. No, and then you mentioned that people just collude with each other, because I said that each hospital's clinics and so on are supposed to be owned separately by different people. And you said, well, people just collude and so on.
Competition collude, yes.
Yeah, and you draw the example that when you go to one of these concerts or something like that, I think in the park, they sell the drinks more or less at the same thing. No. Okay, number one. The more you charge business people fees and that sort of stuff, is the more they're going to be unable to sell it below a certain point.
Correct.
So it may look like colluding, but it's just that they are unable to sell it below a certain point because they have to make back money to pay because of the money that they had to spend to do business, be it that was charged by the government or whoever. Okay, that's number one. Number two,
30 seconds, please, Greg.
I doubt that they got together and speak with each other. I doubt that. But secondly, the more business people you have in your economy and the more it is growing, outside and local business people, is the harder it is and the harder it gets to collude with each other. It becomes very, very hard the more people you have in your economy doing business, because it will force competition, because everybody ain't going to hold to the same head. Even if they wanted to collude, that ain't going to happen the more and more people you have in your economy doing business. And the same thing will go for the hospitals and the SARS. The more and more people open in the SARS, the harder it will be to collude in a competitive market. Okay?
Thank you very much, Greg. We appreciate that. Thanks for listening and calling, as usual. And thank you very much for your suggestion, your idea. And, Greg, I really like the idea about using cars, the vehicles, let me put it that way. And another question jumps up. How is it being done? I've never heard it being done here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But if it's not being done, how come it has never been done? And then another question jumps up. Is there something about the vehicles that will affect marine life, the flora, the fishes, etc.? I don't know. I'm just wondering here why it may not have been done. Because life is funny, you know. Sometimes an idea pops up out of nowhere and you wonder, well, how come this idea was not being done before? It's such a wonderful idea. But I guess that's how businesses and things operate. You're listening to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9, and we are going to this caller and say good morning. You're live on WinFM 98.9's Island Tea. Welcome.
Good morning, Biff.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Wonderful.
Yes. Someone just brought up the whole question of the maintenance of services as a way of saying that it got to be that government is broke.
That was Greg just now, yes?
Yeah, right.
And that was his opinion?
Yes. He is on, I would think, in my opinion, he's on the right track in terms of government is supposed to be providing certain basic services, right? That really and truly, it just goes with the territory, you know? You don't go running around claiming credit for that, but it should be, those services should be provided. And things like basic maintenance, whether it be of facilities, whether it be of roads, those kinds of things, that's the least a government can do. Okay? Any government worth its salt should be providing those things.
Basic necessities. Basic necessities, so to speak.
Yes. Whether it's to provide the operating costs for the schools, rather than have them having to have fundraisers to get basic equipment and that kind of thing. That to me is a failure of government if they can't provide those things. Okay? And so that is one indication. I agree. Right? Because if they're not being provided, it either means that they're broke, don't have the money to do it, or management is bad. The administration is bad. Okay?
I mentioned Mr. McMahon. And Greg disagreed, of course. Could it not be a case of prioritizing? They have 10 things to do, and all of them are high priority, but you have to concentrate on one. And finances may not necessarily be a criterion. It may be the urgency. I remember doing training where you have urgent and important, urgent and not important, and that sort of thing at the table. So can't it be a case like that? And plus, remember, they're going to make provisions in this year's budget for what they're going to do next year. So could it not be a case as well? Well, we said we're going to work on these 20 things. How many? And these are the monies to do that. But other things develop, or even those we plan to, it's costing us more than we anticipated.
Okay.
So it's not a case of being broke, but now getting the resources, redirecting the finances. Because as director of culture, we had to do that quite often. Redirect funds from one area to the next, one project to the next.
That sounds good, and that's an explanation that a politician would make, right? They have other priorities. But you tell that to an institution that don't have proper facilities, washroom facilities. Their priorities are only different, okay? Mm-hmm. And prioritization is something we're not particularly good at as well, because I am sure one of the difficulties I have with government in these places is that they waste so much. There's a lot of wastage. Okay, and you've heard, for instance, that governments would say, tighten your belts, we have to tighten our belts, etc. But the government itself does not do things to tighten its belt. Okay, it keeps hiring for political reasons. It keeps on spending in things like unnecessary travel and those kinds of things, which you would expect you can tighten up on and then release money for other areas that need it. But you don't get that impression. The belt tightening is usually on the citizens and not on government's expenditure, right? So I guess it all amounts to, yes, your priorities, but that is what I guess elections and so on are about. If government has wrong priorities or engaged in a lot of showy things as opposed to things that affect the ordinary voter and make sure that the country is being managed properly and run properly and so on, then I guess the voters have a say into how the people they hire are doing their business.
And that's every 5 years.
And yes, that's every 5 years. Some people say you should have something like midterms or something like that to kind of gauge what's happening in between. Okay, rather than give them a carte blanche, a blank check for 5 years. But with regards your thing about the plane, two good ideas, yes. Putting it out as a reef, artificial reef, or using it as a training facility. Then here we come to priorities again.
Indeed.
Because you can't stretch yourself too thin, and we're more likely to benefit from something like concentrating on building a marine type maintenance, because we have, for instance, all these boats crisscrossing between, I think it's a Nevis. They need maintenance, and the nearby islands as well. They need maintenance. You already have that facility over at New Guinea, right? So you wouldn't be starting from scratch. I would think that the best way to go is to develop our capabilities for maintenance and so on in those areas, the marine areas, as opposed to aircraft maintenance, which is a highly technical, much more technical thing, and which, the standards are much higher, I think, for that, okay?
So don't you think our people could rise to those standards?
No, of course we can rise to it. What I'm saying is that things like the certification standards, just the scale, the number of aircraft that you'll be exposed to, It's a highly complex industry. You know, when you look at the various branches, the avionics, the all sorts of things involved in the training. I know because the college that I attended once, their specialty that was in Canada was aircraft, and they did the whole thing, training for to fly as well as maintenance, and it was a real complex organization, essentially. In other words, it's a very specialized area, and we're more likely to succeed in marine maintenance. Because remember too, Tortola, well, they pretty much have that almost locked up in terms of their college, at least it was up to a couple of years ago, where they provided training for that sort of marine maintenance and you know, the certifications required for the various levels in the yachting and so on. You know, those kinds of things.
As we wrap up, Mr. McMahon, there is a gentleman. He is from Sandy Point. He's a Herbert. His brother, who is deceased, was Nigel Herbert. He was a captain, a pilot, bringing in the boats, these big ships, service ships, etc. And the other brother, I think he went to Taiwan a few years ago to be trained in the marine element, the mechanics of what we are speaking about. I don't know how many persons like him we have in St. Kitts, so I know of him. And his business is down, as you mentioned, down at New Guinea, next to the boat yard. So there is that. And secondly, I always say, if you don't do anything with any particular area, 50 years from now, you're going to be where you are. I mean, you have to start at some point. And I'll argue now is the best time to start. If we wait until 10 years from now, it means that we're going to be just as good or just as bad as 10 years from now that we are now.
I see your point. All I'm saying is that there are finite resources, and we have to prioritize. And I'm just looking at what we have the better shot at.
I understand.
Okay? We can't do everything. I mean, yes, we'd like to, you know, but we can't do everything, and so we have to really decide on what it is we want to be, we want to excel at, and make it our niche, and you know, to provide services for whatever. Okay, simply because we really can't do everything.
I understand you.
Right. So if in the case of the plane, yes. A diverse marine environment, putting it in the sea, making an artificial reef, is good because we don't have one in these waters. We have wrecks of boats, but we don't have a plane.
Wrap up, please, sir.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen movies with that are made with wrecks of planes
exactly
and so on. So that would be an additional asset to that, you know, to putting it out there.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Please continue to listen and call in accordingly. And the beauty about life is people are going to have different views, different perspective. I've often been told about the example, if there are 10 of us looking from the same position at a vehicle, we are going to see different things. The 10 of us, yes, we're going to see some things. All of us are going to see the same thing, but it's 80, 90%, 70%, I don't know. But somebody going to see something else that nobody else saw. It is just life. And that is how it is when we have opinions as well. But we're going to go downtown and we're going to pay homage to our sponsors. It's the lottery, I think it's the Nevis Lottery, SL Horsford's TDC, Rams, Stick and Stay. Don't go away. We thank them for their business. Thanking you for making sure the show is available. So please stick and stay and join us when we come back shortly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to play, match, and win? With Caribbean Numbers, you can turn your favorite numbers into big cash prizes up to $20,000. For as low as $1, pick your numbers, play your way. Quiniela, Pale, or Tripleta, there's a game for you. Then match your numbers and win cash. It's fun and as easy as 1, 2, 3. Your numbers, your way, your time. Feel the thrill in every play available from any Caribbean lottery agent island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. And we have a caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live. Oh, well, Biff, you're talking present tense, but that is past tense. Let us go to this caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island Tea, WinFM 98.9. Welcome.
Yeah, Biff, sorry to be coming back so quickly again. So I'm going to just try to make some points what you just said before the break quickly. Now, if you, Biff, let me ask you a question. If you have expenses to pay that you need to take care of, and you have enough money to take care of all of your expenses, are you going to decide, having enough money, are you going to decide, well, I'm going to take care of this expense later on, but this is more priority, so I'm going to take care of this right now? When you have enough money to take care of all of them, and
yes,
all of them need to be taken care of?
I'll take care of all of them under the circumstances. However,
right.
I won't be able to do all at the same time, so I'll have to start with one, which is prioritizing. And it may not be an urgent, important thing. I just pick one, any one. The deadline to pay might vary, so that could be a criterion which one I pay first.
It might be, but if all them need to be taken care of now, and you have enough money to do it, won't you take care of all of them now, and they need to be taken care of now?
Yes, Greg, I'll take care of all of them.
If they need to be taken care of now, right?
Of course.
No, right. You would only juggle as to take care of the most prioritized one, the highest prioritized one, if you are lacking money. Okay? when all of them need to be taken care of now. For example, I draw the issue at the
Carden home.
pictures that I saw. That is a thing that needs to be taken care of now as well. And these things are left so for years. It ain't that they're left so for a few days or maybe a few weeks. These things are left so for months, maybe years. Not only that. And so this is a sign of brokenness in that your expenses is overwhelming your money, your revenue. But not only that. If you, the government, is taking up people taxes to maintain these things, and things are not maintained, and because of that, somebody get damaged, be it on the road in driving their vehicles, or maybe entering some government building, or like maybe down by the Carden enough, if the pictures are true, that somebody slip or pick up whatever germ or whatever, get very sick or whatever because you ain't maintaining it. The government could be successfully sued because you are taking up monies from the taxpayer to do these things. Where the money going? And you can't go in the courts. You can't go in the court and tell the courts, well, Judge, I had these other expenses to take care over here, so I couldn't really do these and over on this side. No, that wouldn't work in court.
That's a good argument. That's a good argument, Greg. I don't think I could come up with a defense for that, really. So on this occasion, I'll have to yield to you, I think.
Yeah, because you're picking up the taxes to maintain your different stuff. So and like I said, somebody get damaged or sick or whatever because you're failing as a government to maintain whatever because you can be successfully sued. And like I said, you can't go in the court and say, well, government, I couldn't take it because I had this over here to take care of. No, you could be successfully sued.
But a point you made, sorry to intrude, is the maintenance. We don't do a good job, I believe, in the Caribbean maintaining. The governments don't do a good job because this is a cry you hear from most and many countries. The maintenance of government properties, sporting facilities, buildings, etc., etc. So I really don't know what is the case, and don't get me wrong, it's not so only with government, because, and it's not so with just government buildings like the Carden home that you're suggesting. Football fields, for example.
With schools and so too. So I don't want to just focus on that only.
Yes, and so that maintenance is an issue, and especially when we are close to the sea blast affecting it, that's another issue. Because
exactly.
And anyway you're going to think is you're close to the sea, and sea blast is also going to be a factor. But
we ain't touched the mold issues in other governments building to know. A lot of issues.
Yeah, that mold, and
which they can be successfully sued for.
Do you believe? Well, let me start this way. It's only over the last maybe 10, 15 years we started hearing about mold. Do you believe it just started happening 10, 15 years ago? Or how long ago?
No,
20, 25, 30 years?
We are getting more and more informed.
Oh, so it may have been around 40 years, but we never identified it, never realized it, we never paid any attention. That's what you're suggesting?
Right. Because remember, as we got more and more access to internet and all those sorts of people, more and more people coming back from universities and all that sort of stuff, we are becoming more and more informed. Plus, somebody told me, right? Somebody told me as well, these buildings originally, when they were made, I talk about the old ones, they was not really made for aircon.
Oh.
So now you're putting aircon in them. That also adding to the issue of the mold issue. That's what I was told as well.
That's a good consideration, Greg. I never looked at it from that angle.
Yeah, well, yes, that is what I was told as well. But what I'm saying is that if somebody gets sick and so because you're not maintaining as you ought to, which you're picking up the taxes to do, you can be successfully sued because you can't go in the court and say, well, I had these other expenses, so I couldn't deal with these other ones.
But suing is not, and I might get some stick for this, Greg, but suing has not really been a part of our culture, a great part of our culture so to speak. Unlike the U.S., if anything happened, you're being sued. But here in St. Kitts, we don't see or hear. Maybe it's because we're not hearing. But you know, the word gets
It
around.
has happened or not? No, it has happened.
No, it has.
And the government have lost.
No, I agree. But I said generally, it's not generally
right.
part of our culture. If we want to say on the average, it is not.
Right.
Maybe because, and a point we had, maybe because some person, I think it was Burrell who made the point, that we may not have the finances for legal recourse. So it just dies a natural death. But maybe that's something would happen.
Right, but remember again, as time goes on, people attitude change.
Exactly.
And people would say, okay, I've seen the US and other places people so to get through. So therefore, you might maybe later on see it more and more in these areas as people adapt.
Yeah, thank you for wrapping up first, Greg.
So yes, so that's why I come back to say again, I would hold to it is brokenness. And not only that, these things that the government want to build, just get a few years and you see even the maintenance of those things go down the drain. Because the government expenses is increasingly becoming more and more than the money that they have, and that's a sign of brokenness.
Okay, Greg, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Now, may ruling out bad management and so on. May ruling that also.
I understand.
May ruling that also.
Okay, thank you very much,
the
Greg.
big picture is bigger. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and thanks for calling us. We go to the line and say good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. Welcome to WinFM 98.9.
Thank you, Brother Bill.
You're welcome, sir.
Let me jump in on the part with Greg. Yes, it is true. It is not a common thing, a practical thing amongst our people to sue the government or cause a suit, so to speak, because lack of knowledge.
Point.
If I was there, probably might have that same kind of mentality. But since I came here in the United States, hey, everything is sewing, and we learn about sewing, reasons for sewing, cause of sewing, and also, apart from not financially equipped to hire a lawyer or a barrister or an attorney, so to speak, there is a situation one can cause their cause of action. And they call it self-represented or pro se is the legal word to use. You pro se, you represent yourself. Okay? If you have a claim against me or him and there are no settlements between you and I draft up a summons and complaint against you. All the charges that I have grievance with against you pertaining to that incident. And you go to the court and you file. You file it in the court and you shall be heard. The court will send that defendant an answer because you now become the plaintiff. And they have to answer. And if they don't answer, the ruling will move to your favor. If they don't show up, it will be an inquest. And you will award the verdict, whatever you're suing for. So I'm laying it now to all the public. As long as I gain knowledge, I see knowledge, I can grab knowledge, I will share it with everyone because everyone must have their freedom and their dignity and their right to proceed in life. Dignity is me, and dignity I will maintain and continue to maintain moving forward. For all what is going on, if the government is in a situation where they are wrong, or like the Friars Bay situation, where this man generator and water line has been cut, the man was paying his water. Okay? The man was doing his due diligence to sustain himself and his family. And whosoever do that wrongful cause, like I mentioned the other day, if it is not the government, even if it is a private entity that does it, this matter should have been settled in the court. They should have filed a summons and complaint against that man and bring him into court and let the decision amongst the judge, or if it's an arbitrator, or if it's a mediator. Everyone is doing vigilante. Everyone is taking the law in their own hands, and they don't think that they think they are right, so to speak. Let me rephrase. But it is wrong. But now this is the sign of the times. People are getting knowledge. and people are being more aware because once media is progressing, we will learn. I will leave it right there. Thank you.
Before you slip away, caller,
okay.
Are you
Yeah.
a lawyer by chance, or have you been exposed
No,
to studies of law?
Well, I had incidents and I had to learn how to learn the way around it. But I know legality. I can pull myself. And to tell you the truth, I have a legal claim against the government of St. Kitts, Casper. But the statute of limitation is still is active. But I will come and proceed and process my case because I ain't going to hire these lawyers because they are just some of them are rip-off. I could tell you that. But once I could process, I could process. If you have to hire a lawyer, you have to explain what happened to why you have grievance. You are the common, how shall I say? You are the originator of a cause to bring it to a hearing or to your friend. You have to explain your situation to a lawyer, and a lawyer take it to court. But you know what? It's the procedure of filing a claim. If you don't have the money, go and file the cause of action in the court by yourself. Look up the word pro se, self-represented. You don't always have to have a lawyer, okay? Because you might can't afford and the lawyer is bleeding you. And they hold you hostage. Pro se. Any more questions?
Well, you said something that I'm not too certain I'm too comfortable with about the lawyers. You said the lawyers are.
Sir. I am not against the lawyer.
That is,
okay,
no, but it's a collective statement, the lawyers are. It's a different thing to say some of the lawyers are, as opposed to, but you made a blanketed statement, the lawyers are. That is all-inclusive, every lawyer. And
I'm not in general. There are some good lawyers and there are some bad lawyers.
Okay.
Put it this way. There are some good politicians and there are some bad politicians. There are some good policemen and there are some bad policemen. And we could name it accordingly. I'm not saying all.
Okay, sir.
But
I'm with you.
Call them out to their action. I'm not calling no names. That's all I can tell you.
All right, so thanks a lot for listening to Island T and winnfm 98.9. And thank you for calling.
Always.
Please continue to listen and call in appropriately accordingly. You're listening to Island T here on winnfm 98.9. It's 9:22. We go up until 10 a.m. And I introduce some topics locally and one regionally. That's the Antigua elections. And I don't know. Do our politicians behave here in St. Kitts and Nevis when election times? Do they behave that way? Because I've been following Antigua and Barbuda. It's now the silly season. But it's like everything the opposition says it's bad. It cannot work for whatever reason. Some of them I agree far-fetched in my view, but something might be good. And somewhere along the line, I think the Prime Minister was asked if there's a good suggestion from the opposition, were you to win again, would you take it? Would you operate with it? And it'll be folly. It will really be folly. A good idea is a good idea, no matter who comes up with it. And I could remember a few years ago, the Human Resources Department of Government here in St. Kitts and Nevis, it was called the Establishment Division. And the party in opposition at the time, they said, were we to win, we'll change that to Human Resources. And I thought that was reasonable. And I don't remember if that party in opposition won, but after elections, it was changed to Human Resources. And that is, to me, that's the way things should be. Oh boy, Biff, you lost 2 callers there, boy. Caller, please call back again, and we will take your call. You're listening to Island T here on winnfm 98.9. We haven't gone over to the international scene yet, you know. And I don't know how many of you, And there are a few stories. A former prime minister, president of the Philippines, some investigations were done, and there's a word you call it. You don't go to court as yet, just the investigation to find out if you have enough evidence to go to the courts. And it was found out that there was enough evidence to carry him to the court, the international court that deals with crimes against humanity. And this is a former leader in the Philippines. We don't hear much of that down here in the Caribbean. Is that something we should be looking at? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island T. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Good morning, and to all the listeners. Mention was made, Greg made mention about the government being broke, right? But I want to believe the government is broke for sure, but they have to be broke, because if you got people owing so much money on electricity and water and ain't trying to recover it. I mean, I know some time ago they said they was giving people, paying citizens some kind of money, and that would help them. But I find that was a dumb idea. How government going to take their money to give to people to pay back the government? That really make no sense. All you got to do, come up with a payment plan, and if you default, then you cut you off. Because in the U.S., like Con Ed and National Grid, if you have a high bill, you could set up an arrangement with them and pay, so they could do likewise. But I find the government, all of them, like a commentator would say, all of them, they ain't serious about recovering their money, because at the end of the day, then in the next couple of years, they're going back to the same people to vote, and to me, that has to stop. You got to pay your bills. I mean, I can speak. I a little bit, because I had a little property home that I was allocated and had somebody living there, and they wasn't paying the bill. So now it falls on me. But what I do, I have the setup. So I go in, and if I could pay a little 20 US, at least they're going to help bring down the bill. At least make the effort. People don't want to pay their bills, but they want to dress up, go to all the fete. I mean, pay your bills. That's all I will say for now.
Very good point, caller. Oh, the caller left. I was going to ask a question. If the caller recalls, some time ago on I think the team Unity was in, and the Honorable Sean Richards, he was the Minister of Electricity. Electricity fell under his portfolio, and I think he sent out notices to say that persons who are owing, please come in and let us make an arrangement. And if you don't, we're going to start disconnecting by a certain time. And from what I'm remembering, persons took him to task for that. It may have been done, was it around the Christmas and Carnival time? I'm not certain. But he was doing what you just suggested, caller. And that too, I must add, I believe that is a challenge, not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, throughout the Caribbean. But it doesn't mean because it's a challenge there, we should just sit back and not do anything and say, hey, this is how it is all over. And I like the idea you say, you put forward, and I think that's something that has been in place. If you owe whatever the amount of money, rather than not paying, pay a little, maybe $20. Say for example, I don't know, you owe $5,000. In the scheme of things, $20 is not anything. It's not so substantial, but that shows that there's a willingness to pay, though you may not have as much to be paying. And tomorrow, if you could pay $25, you do that. But not paying at all, and the government sitting back and relaxing, and that's a very good point. They need to be more assertive, more aggressive, exercise the control they do have. Because if everybody in St. Kitts owes, then could you imagine that? And I think at one point they indicated how many persons and the volume, what the amount was. And this is just electricity. There's also water and the cable. I suspect that's the case with cable, but that's a private company, so they might be a little harsher. They may not exercise as much flexibility as, say, and leniency as the government may. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island to you live on WinFM 98.9.
Yes, good morning. That caller made an excellent point, right? The government really spoils people. Because you see, ever so often you'll find things like amnesty or and people deliberately wait, run up bills high, and then take advantage of these amnesty periods, whatever you want to call them. And it's not fair to those people who have been making the effort, who have been making the sacrifice to keep up to date with their bills. Okay, because when they have amnesty, there's nothing for them. The government don't even say, well, you've been good, you've been a good citizen, you've paid your taxes and your bills and so on, and so we'll give you a discount for something. That don't happen, right? And so, well, we know why it happens. Too many people in office look at the next election as opposed to the overall health of whatever entity is being shortchanged, you know, and you know, it's a bad habit that has been given to the people, and not taking the responsibility off of the people and throwing it on government, right? People are responsible for their own business, running their own households and so on. But the government is adding to the problem by I would say, being overly lenient in these situations, right? Maybe they need to, in some cases, well, actually, since so many people work for government, have some system whereby if you owe utilities and those kinds of things, and there are deductions, straight-off deductions from your salary, okay? After you come up with some kind of payment plan, there's this straight-off deductions, right? But people need some kind of fiscal discipline, just like government needed too, because one of the indications when you're going to have things like deficit budget, it means that you plan to spend more than you're bringing in, and that's not fiscal discipline either. Okay, so all of us are guilty all around, and how to rein it in should be a big issue, but it would not be made an issue because everybody wants to appease the voter. You know, that's unfortunately where we are. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for sharing your view with us. And I'm thinking as well, there was an issue with NHC. I don't know where it stands now. And there were notices on the radio, persons who are in default were encouraged to come in, giving some sort of incentive, for want of a better expression, and I use that loosely, discounts, debt forgiveness to a certain extent or percentage. And I know some establishments use that. You're going to get a 10% discount or whatever the case is. But it brings the question, have we been good at managing that? And I recall hearing notices on the radio from NHC that you need appeals, even you need to come in and pay, because the money you're owing, how many people out there owing whatever amount, it doesn't allow us to build more homes for other people. So you'll come in and you'll need to pay up so we could help others. It's now 9:32. Remember, we are going down to 10 o'clock, but we have to go downtown and pay homage to our sponsors who make this program possible. So stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly to continue more discussions on the island, and we haven't touched the war, Israel and the U.S. in combination against Iran, and the ceasefire that expired on Wednesday, I think it was, and it's, well, President Trump is saying he's going to extend it further. He's saying, well, he could end the war anytime he wants, and I don't know, and Iran is saying Lebanon says no talk without Israel withdrawal. U.S.-Iran talks stalled. U.S.-Iran talks stalled. And Pakistan, and let us continue for a little bit rather than go to the break. Pakistan, they are a key partner, a key entity in these negotiations. And I was listening to a news report. Why is it Pakistan is so interested? Is it just because, hey, we don't want war, we want to bring it to an end? But Pakistan had some interests in it, the proximity, and it could affect them, etc., etc. And we're in a situation where both parties are saying they don't trust each other. Iran is saying that I don't trust you, the U.S. And the U.S. is saying, why, Iran, I ain't trust you either, So my thing is, consider a boyfriend and a girlfriend living together, a husband and wife, and the two of them don't trust each other. How that gonna work out? So let's just go to the line and say good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Yes, Bill, I'm going to be quick.
Please do.
Yes, I'm going to be quick. I just want to let people know, when I say the government books, I am not blaming one party. As far as I know, these problems that I spoke of has exist under all parties.
Correct.
It's just that as time goes and goes along, it gets worse and worse. I mean, even, for example, Chesley Hamilton, he's been for a long while now saying government owe him money that he can't get back, and it's lots of money. You know, that government owe him for doing some cases and that sort of stuff. And I'm sure he ain't the only one with that complaint of government owing money too. Monies too. You know. So I just don't want to make it, it's not a one-party thing. All of them to be blamed, and they're digging themselves deeper and deeper into brokenness because they're digging themselves deeper and deeper into debt. You know, they can't meet the expenses as they are to. That's why they have to juggle. But, like I said, they can be sued successfully because you can't go in the courts with that as an excuse. They have to juggle your expenses. Okay, take care.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir. We appreciate that. I interpreted it as governments, not the government of the day. Governments, period. Last government, the government before, etc. It is just a situation. And but that's a good point. The governments, and I was thinking in terms of debt forgiveness and the appealing to persons to come in and pay. Are there really criteria for that? Or am I going to say, okay, Greg, you vote for me, so don't hurt up your head, you don't have to pay? Or am I going to say, well, Greg, I know you're a stalwart of my party, sorry, but we need the money so we could help others. Let us go to this call and say good morning, welcome to Island Tea and WinFM 98.9.
Yes, good morning again.
Morning, ma'am.
Now, let me touch on the neglect of I don't think it's so much about being broke. I think we don't have any pride. Government don't take no pride in nothing. That's why they let things dilapidate. Because I can tell you, for example, one time I saw the firefighters fighting a fire, right? And the hose what they were using had more hole than a Swiss cheese. More water were coming out the hole in the holes going on the ground than what was going on the fire. Now tell me, the person that's in charge of that, you want to tell me they didn't know that hose needed replacing? Okay, that's one. Now to the electrical bill and stuff. I think, okay, say for example, like the young lady, she talked about a tenant not paying their bill. Now, I would wonder if they can, when you rent your place, if they can set up a system where you can automatically get the electrical bill paid from the tenant bank account automatically. Because then it is really annoying, because I have two tenants that I'm going to take to court that used to live in my house, and I'm tired of paying electrical bills for people that I didn't use. Hello?
I'm listening clear. Yes, continue.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah, and I'm tired of paying electrical bill for other people. I have to tell them that I have to take a court. And if I put foot in sink, I'm going to give them a lawyer because I'm tired of paying bills for people. You know what? Now I got to come home, compare electrical bill that I did thousands of dollars, okay? So I would like to know the system can set it up when you rent a base. They said you can go into them and tell them this person live in the house and the money comes out automatically.
That is a good idea. I like that idea. And obviously that has to be an agreement between both parties, the landlord
of course,
and who is renting. I'm
yes,
not
it
so
would have to
certain.
be an agreement because
I'm not so
I
certain how
agree
many
that it have
persons
to be an agreement. You can make that mandatory. You have to give an account that to the electrical department where it comes out automatically.
And that's the only way I'll
Because
rent you my house. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly, because a lot of landlords, they suffer that because you rent them your place, they don't pay electrical bill, they don't pay the water bill, and when they come out, if bad enough, they leave you with back rent. But you have to eat the back rent, and then you still have to go pay to put on the water and the lights for what you didn't use. That's nonsense.
And from what I gather, Carla, if I am renting your house and I run up the bills, utility or house rent, whatever, let's use utility bills, and I move out or you kick me out because I haven't been paying. If, I don't know, if Quint comes along now and want to rent that space, rent that house, and you go to electricity department to connect electricity supply, they're going to tell you have to clear that debt first because they're doing it. They're not going to say, well, it's two different people. It was Biff, but now it's Quint.
Exactly.
So, and I really can't blame them for it because if they allow that to continue, and as an example, Quint runs up the bill and he moves out, and then flames move in.
Right, it'll be a repeating cycle.
Exactly. It's a continuous cycle. And I could understand it, but I really like the idea of the payment, direct payment with the banks. I like that. I know what some landlords do. They incorporate electricity in the rental fee. So when you have to pay, I don't know, $1,000 per month, it is, as an example, $800 for the house and $200 for the electricity. In some cases, some persons incorporate water as well, and in others, some incorporate cable TV as well, just to avoid that situation.
Cable TV should not be any landlord responsibility. That's not a necessity. That's a luxury.
But wouldn't the same thing
that's
apply?
That's what I don't care about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand that, but there's the educational value in cable TV, isn't there?
No, but I like the idea now that you talk about incorporating the water and the lights in the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something I will have to consider. But if the people that used to live in my house listening, prepare to pay because I'm going to take you to court.
Okay, Cleo.
No, nothing for free.
I understand that. I'm not going to charge a consultation fee for that idea, Cleo. Well, let's go to the line and take this caller. Welcome to Island Tea Caller. You're live on WinFM 98.9. Good morning.
Yeah, Biff, good morning to you, man.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Wonderful.
You know, because of the fact that a lot of prisoners in the diaspora has properties back home, we on the outside here, we're going through a lot of tribulations. You know, they feel like the people on the ground, they feel like they could take advantage of us and get away with it all the time. Yes, indeed. You put people in your house to rent your house, and they do all type of stuff, man. They run up the electric bill. You know what I mean? They run up the utilities, and then they don't want to pay. You know what I mean? They don't want to be responsible. Me, myself, was caught in a situation like that recently, and you know what I do? I'm not renting my house again that easily. That's plain and simple. And it's unfortunate that you got to make a decision like that. A person will be asking about renting the house, but I just say not at this point. I'm stuck with a bill $2,500 to $2,700, and the electric company themselves were negligent in a way because when the bill start getting to a certain level, they will normally come and shut it off. In my instance, I don't see why they didn't come and shut that light off because they know where the house is and they came there before, and they possibly came there before to shut off before. So they try to make an excuse, and the communication between us over here and the government offices underground is not good at all. This is technology time. All those government offices need to at least have a WhatsApp number so we can directly contact them. You know, efficiency and effectiveness, very important. Some of these government offices, they're running and they're not being effective or efficient at all. We got to get up to speed with this technology. Man, just some people don't like the digital thing, but it's the way the world is going. We can't stop it. And the Prime Minister, I think he had said they were going to try to digitalize some of these governmental departments and stuff like that. I don't know if it was Taiwan. It was a initiative that he was trying to put on from some company outside. I would like to support. And these are stuff that is like, it's like so trivial. Why when I have to renew my passport, I got to take out a new birth certificate again? What? Was I reborn?
No, you don't have to take out a new birth certificate, caller. You should have had one from before, which you should have had secured.
Babe, I'm telling you, I had to take out a new birth certificate. I'm telling you what I had to do.
Because you couldn't find the previous one, or was that the first time you're taking it?
No. This is a testimony I'm coming in with right now. And another thing too, your bank account. If I open a bank account and I have to prove to bring in all these documents to open a bank account, why you want to put my bank account dormant after 1 or 2 years, even if I didn't have a transaction? That is still me. That is still my bank account. I own that bank account when I opened it in the first place. They shouldn't have to put your bank account in no dormant status. That's ridiculous. You know, all of these little things is trivial. Imagine, I'm going to mention it one more time and then I'm going to get off. They're still handwriting a birth certificate. That's why so much persons in the Federation have issues with their birth certificate. A name like Brown with or without the E at the end. You know,
yes.
If you're walking down the road with a lady and you are styling off, why, this is my wife. But when it comes down to it, well, your wife had a wrong name on her birth certificate. you think, guess what? Your marriage certificate and all got the wrong name on it. You've been posing off walking down the street. Why, you love my sexy wife. Winston, welcome.
Say your wife and your wife.
After 5-10 years, you put in some paperwork to try to get a visa to come to America. When it's time for you to go to Barbados, that's when you find out your wife's name is all messed up, jacked up. Man, for 5-10 years you was going down the road with that lady. That lady was not even your wife, bro. All of these type of things is so trivial. These things are so trivial. Man, we got up to speed. St. Nevis, man, we so tiny, and the population is so small. Man, we're supposed to be a shining star in this world, man, not just in the Western Hemisphere. What's so bad about it? Biff, when you don't have the money to do certain things, I won't even mind. But we already had the money. They mismanaged the money. And you hear Greg is coming in saying that we broke. They might not be broke. They got the money elsewhere. But under real to real, they had the money. They should have put that money to good use. St. Nevis should have been in tip-top shape, bro. I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, caller. And I like the idea and we're going to a break now. I like the idea about the birth certificate because I had to go down there and get a birth certificate from my grandfather. And we weren't certain when he was born. I think it was like 1908, 1910, somewhere there. And you have a situation where you may very well have several documents with different dates on it. And even the spelling of the name, you have a situation when the information is sent to the registry for birth certificates, etc. There are times that some persons may not, the persons doing the recording may not quite understand the handwriting, so they may write what they believe it is. So you may find that brown, as the caller said, brown with the E and brown without the E. My understanding is brown without the E, it's the color brown, but brown with the E is the name. Similarly to green. Green with the E, from my understanding, is the name, but green without the E is the color. And some things like that happen. And I could be a testimony in my situation. My mother, she was Marjorie. On one set of documents, it's spelled Margery. But on another document, it is spelled Marjorie. And for us to change that, to have both of them saying the same thing, we have to pay some money, affidavits and lawyers, etc., etc. And perhaps most persons wouldn't be in a position. But we got to go downtown and say thank you to the sponsors. So stick and stay, don't go away. See you on the other side of these advertisements.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
What are you doing?
She said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active, living we life. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we are we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Why?
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Horse's Value Match IGA Blue Tag Special.
Running April 2nd to April 15th.
Post family size honey bunches of oats and pebble cereals $19.99. Quaker Oats regular and quick $19.99. Essential everyday chunk and shredded cheeses just $7.99. Blue Bunny ice cream $25.99. IGA or essential everyday frozen waffles $19.99. Arm & Hammer liquid detergent just $39.99.
And now our value deals. IGA Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese $2.99. IGA Essential Everyday Canned Tuna $3.49. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs $9.99. Essential Everyday Barbecue Sauce $7.99. The Colgate Toothpaste $6.99. The Colgate Toothbrush medium and soft $4.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
When power stops, your world should not. For April, the TDC Home and Building Depot's product of the month is the GD Super Multi-Purpose Solar Generator. Instant, silent, and efficient power for your home, office, or any other space. Our 600-watt generator was $2,070, now $1,182. The 1500-watt was $2,772, now $1,965. And our 3000-watt powerhouse was $6,405, now $3,960. Finish your projects. Continue your business. Enjoy your life. Available at the TDC Home and Building Depots on St. Kitts and Nevis and at shoptdcgroup.com.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. Wow, we're on the last leg, as in last leg. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You have 30 seconds, please.
Yes, babe. In spite of we out here, other parts of the world, and you are there in the studio, we all have the same thing in common. Sorry to get off the topic. And we are veins of information coming into a studio that can broadcast it, whom it may concern. And I must give a round of applause to the Boyle Jones, the Cleo, and all who call in circulating information to our people. And actually, anywhere listeners are hearing, I must give a round of applause to all of us. Now, information could be detrimental and information could be of great use and importance. Some people may take it to be a rhetoric or grievance, or again, but right is right and wrong is wrong. So, for all what we are doing out here as contributors to WinFM, Straight Talk, Freedom FM, etc. and etc., don't think we are the enemies. We are only the messengers, and there is a saying, don't shoot the messenger. Congratulate and encourage the messengers. But overall, I must say, for all what is going on in the Federation of St. Kitts, we have to meet a common ground for humanity and mankind moving forward. Because humanity should not suffer all these hardship and bearings, because we breathe the fresh air.
30 seconds, please, caller.
Yes, we breathe the fresh air, we eat food, we drink water, and we get a rest. What else we need? Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. And very interesting. And I agree with you, the persons who call in and share their experiences, give examples, the opinions. We thank you, because there is no program without you, the listeners, in the first instance, and the callers. And if we go to if we use the technology, a caller is saying, good morning, here, Le Conbuck was the name of the airplane restaurant. The owner did the same thing in Curaçao. He is now passed on. So I suggesting that I am getting the impression then that airport restaurant, it is closed, and it was right on the main road. You're going into town from the airport, going to the airport from into town, it's right there. Another message, good morning, great idea with the plane. And we're going to have different views, and what somebody came, and those were messages on the YouTube. And a colleague of mine listening in the States, he mentioned he prefers the idea with the seaplane. I like the idea about using the seaplane to make an artificial reef marine resort. That's what he's saying. And he's suggesting that we get Skellig on the show to educate people of how to conserve energy. Same thing with water. Some people have no conscience. Iron every day, have fan and AC on all day. I can't argue with you with that, caller. People just lock up, they go to work because maybe when they want to come home in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the day is school, and which to me is ridiculous. And we've heard the water department over the years, no matter which government is in, saying please conserve water, especially at specific times because of the drought, etc. And speaking of water and drought, we've gone from water in Sandy Point, not having water one night a week, which is normally Tuesdays, to 2 and 3 nights per week. We didn't have water in Sandy Point Tuesday night, and we didn't have water last night. And from past experience these past weeks, it's going to be another loss of water again some night. But we have to see how it goes. And before I leave, which I have to do, I have to make my exit, there is an article, and I'm starting to wonder about the Navy chief, him resigning, him stepping down. And he is not the first. U.S. Navy chief leaving post effective immediately, Pentagon says. And this is BBC, and it was posted like a few hours ago. And U.S. Navy Secretary John Phelan is leaving the Trump administration, the Pentagon said. His departure will be effective immediately. The Navy has not provided a reason. His exit came after tensions within the American leadership. It comes just weeks after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth asked Army Chief of Staff Randy George to step down from his post. Two other Army officials, General David Hodney and Major General William Green, have also been removed from their roles. Since entering the Pentagon, Hegseth has fired more than a dozen senior military officers, including the Chief of Naval Operations and Air Forces and Chief of Staff. That's a situation I believe to be concerned with, because if you're hiring these top brass, yes, there may be people who are able to come in and run at the same pace, but the experience, but what message are you sending? Is something wrong? Is it that they're saying, note I said I'm asking, is it that they're saying, boy, what we're doing with Iran is wrong, we shouldn't be doing that? I don't know, but it doesn't send a good message. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 1 minute after 10. I guess I'm taking the liberty of going that 1 minute over time because there is no voices today. Join us for voices tomorrow. I thank those of you who have been listening. I thank those of you who have sent messages, and those of you who called especially. Thank you very much. Thank you all for listening to WinFM 98.9. Thank you for your ideas, your suggestions, your critiquing. We really appreciate that. And no matter what it is, I accept feedback. I believe in feedback. And it's always nice if you employ the sandwich, something good to anybody, even in your relationships, your work, something good. The matter you're not too happy with or you want to reprimand the staff, and then you end with something good. Find something good to start and end with, and tell them in the middle, which is a sandwich, say egg sandwich or cheese sandwich. So join us again tomorrow at 8 a.m. God's Spear for another edition of Island Tea. Before we go, accidents. Please, drivers, any kind of drivers, please be patient on the road, or else you may become a patient and you need to drive to arrive alive. And boy, coming up in this bus this morning, it'll give me a headache how I see drivers driving. We abuse busmen a lot, but people in private vehicles, they do ridiculous things. So please be patient. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink, because the life you save or the life you take may very well be your own and or your loved ones. And as I slip away, I admonish you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for listening. And we are going to resume regular programming at this time. See you tomorrow, Godspeed.